you doing? Welcome to Video Soul. I'm Donnie Simpson. This is not, I didn't have like a flashback moment. I'll tell you the reason I did that. Because I have with me as our guest today, someone that I worked with on Video Soul for many years. And I just wanted to have her on the show so we could catch up, let you see her and know what she's doing now. Sherry Carter is with me today. Hey, Sherry.
Oh, hi, Donnie.
How are you?
I am good, and you know this feels crazy.
Yeah.
Right now, just a flashback moment, and when you said Video Soul, I was like all ready to be like on today's show.
Right.
This is wonderful because we really are in the same studio that we did Video Soul in, and working with some of the crew members as well.
Yeah.
So
Isn't that something?
Just like it was yesterday.
It's like coming home, right?
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. And you look wonderful.
Well, thank you,
Like I
Sherry.
said,
You too.
Well, thank you so much. All right, thank you. I'm just going to say thank you. Because you know how people become very self-deprecating. And sometimes I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm older and I'm this and I'm that.
Well,
but I'm just going to say thank you.
You're lucky. I mean, some people aren't older. Some people didn't make it to older.
That is
so
so
you should
true.
Be happy with that.
I am very happy that I'm here. And you look the same to me.
Okay.
You really...
No,
You
I'm
really,
just...
you really do.
Oh,
I mean,
thank you,
you're just so iconic. And this is just such a pleasure. So thank you for having me.
Oh, man, please.
This is wonderful.
As soon as we decided to do another season, I said, I got to have Sherry on. Especially being, like you said, in this studio that we
Unreal.
did Video Soul in for so many years. I said, Sherry would love this. So we have to come in and reminisce and talk about, you know, the days we had on Video Soul and all of that.
And we had some days.
Oh, we did. We did.
We had some days.
People would freak if they knew what we were doing. Like, and I mean, nothing crazy.
No,
I don't mean
no.
make it sound like that. You know, we didn't have a strip club going on behind the set. But
Well, no, I'm just kidding.
wish we'd have thought of that.
I know, that would have been fun.
We used to play games. Remember?
Oh, yes.
You know, we'd come on and do our intro and start playing the videos, and then we'd play
I had
Trivial
totally
Pursuit.
Yes, we played all kind of stuff because you're sometimes in here for a while.
Yeah.
And you have downtime. The videos are rolling, and we're just kind of hanging out, and we sure did.
Right. Oh, we used
my
to have
goodness.
big fun.
Oh.
And I hated playing against you because you were so smart. You
Well,
were.
thank you so
Yeah.
much. I'm glad to hear that.
Well-
So I had an advantage over you back then.
Oh, without doubt.
So-
Without doubt.
Because it's so funny, co-hosting with you was such an honor, but it was always so much fun when we would be told who the guests were going to be, and I'd be like all excited, like who am I gonna interview? Who am I gonna interview? And they're like, well, you know, he wants to interview with Donnie. Oh well, she wants Donnie to interview her. Like, does anybody want me to interview? But I had my share. I had my
you
share.
did.
But you were, I mean, you are a legend, and you
thank you,
know
Sherry.
that. And yeah, probably we were here in the heyday. I think the golden age of, in my mind, black music.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was just the perfect time, the perfect atmosphere, and this I thought was the perfect show.
Yeah.
And you brought so much to the show because you know you're radio, and so you knew everyone. And this man is one of those people that can tell a story. I'm the worst at telling a story. You always had something to say. You always knew it. So you really are an iconic, perfect dream host. So feels a little different, me, you know, being interviewed by you, but I think we're just gonna go down memory lane and have some fun.
Yeah. But you know, it's funny because that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. Is just, you know, how people used to, you know, that there were times, because you brought this up once, and I'll never forget this. We had a meeting. And I don't know if you remember this, because it's like we only had one meeting in all those years, right? It's like I don't really do meetings well, so I try to stay away from them. But we had that one meeting with the producer, all of us together, and then at one point you asked in this meeting, I don't know if you remember this, but you said, you know, I know that, you know, people come here and they want to interview with Donnie, okay? And I get like the secondary people, and you know, I just would like to be able to, you know, have some of the. So the producer at that time then said, so Donnie, what can we do to give Sherry the respect that you have? You remember that?
I don't remember.
Well, I remember it vividly because I just went quiet. I just sat there, and it was significant because that was the moment that I decided that it was time to go. Oh
my goodness.
To ask me something like that, I mean, how do you give respect to somebody? You know, and I hope you don't feel like this is belittling in any way.
No,
it's not. I'm just telling you what happened.
I hear exactly what you're saying too.
It was just a ridiculous thing to ask.
Yeah, because.
And I just said, you know, that was the day I started thinking about ending my run on Video Soul.
Wow.
That was the day.
Well, you know what,
and I've never talked about this publicly.
Oh.
Never.
But you know what, it was one of those things, because I had come from Video LP, right? Mm-hmm. And they wanted me to co-host. And I remember thinking, why would you even want anybody, like, he doesn't need a co-host. And I think they said, well, you know, the ladies like Donnie, and we know that the men like Sherry, so we're hoping to get more, you know, because your legs. And I'm like, oh, you really didn't say my legs? Because they had that one shot, I think, in Video LP where they went up, because I would cross my legs, and they went up, and I was like, well, damn, I do have good legs. But gee, that was way back when, you know, the whole Me Too thing. But I remember thinking, okay, I can kind of get that. I go, but if I were Donnie, maybe would I feel a little insulted? Like, he doesn't need help.
No, I wasn't insulted, not at all. It wasn't that. I was surprised because they hadn't had any discussion with me about that, about adding someone.
See, that surprises me.
No, they didn't. And, you know, so it was just, but I will say this, that it was different for me. And the reason I say that is because you know me, you know how I work, that, you know, every day they prepare script, and every day I ignore it. You know,
that's kind of true.
Yeah, and you know, I would just always go off script, but it's hard to do that with two people. You know, because we come on and we do the intro, and then, you know, I go, hi, welcome to Video Soul. I'm Donnie Simpson.
I'm Sherry Carter.
And the day we have on the show, and it's that.
Yeah,
and also
it's a different flow.
It's a
becomes a totally different flow.
And it made it totally different for me. It made it feel like Entertainment Tonight or PM Magazine when they used to do that show.
Right.
You know, news people.
See, now
that kind of exchange.
I'm remembering because I think I remember your demeanor. You know what you should have said? You should have said, "Let her figure it out. Let her figure it out herself." Because I did. You know, I mean, I think I did. I mean, I think it ended up being fine.
No doubt.
But that's, you know, that makes me a little sad that you felt like that, because again, I just doesn't feel as respectful as it should have been.
Yeah.
It should have been a decision that you were in on.
You know, I guess, you know, they owned it, and so, you know, but it was cool.
But it ended up.
It ended up great. It ended up great. I mean,
right.
And that's kind of my attitude towards everything anyway. That you know, it's all going to work out. I don't sweat stuff. You know, it's just like we're going to do this.
Yeah.
It's going to be great.
Yeah.
It's just all I'm saying is that it created a different rhythm.
It was a different vibe for you.
Hard.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I wasn't used to the two-person thing. You know.
And because my show was very scripted. Yours was more like.
Yeah.
You just had a flow and you kind of went with it. And you had like the bare bones of what you needed to do, and then you could kind of take it because you are the consummate storyteller. You really are very good with ad-libbing and just talking and being you, whereas I was very scripted and wasn't as used to that, except when I was interviewing people. But I know that it was a big decision for me because I don't know that I would wanted to leave the show where I was the sole host, you know? Yeah. So I can certainly understand how you would have felt, and especially if you weren't included in that decision. Yeah. You weren't asked for any input.
Well, I have to tell you this, because you see I'm a great storyteller and ad-libber and all that. I can't read. So, no, I'm just...
And this is what I remember about Dad, his laugh. Oh my God. You would tell a story and just start laughing. And usually they were really funny stories, but even if they weren't, as soon as you would start laughing, you just couldn't. Well, it just made everything a lot of fun.
Well, I go through life like that. Unfortunately, I know it drives my wife crazy sometimes. Everything is funny to me. You know, I should say everything is funny, but
it gets you through life a lot better.
All those years of being on radio, doing radio and TV for me, I see material in everything. You know, it's like a comedian. It's like everything is material to me.
Right.
You know?
Well,
so some of the worst things that can happen to me, I look at it and go, That's funny. It's gonna be
I could tell
funny
that'll
when I
be
tell
a
that
story. That'll be a story.
Right.
Oh, you had some great stories. Oh my gosh. And like I said, I'm the worst storyteller. I will start telling a story and get all lost in my own story. I'll try to tell a joke and forget the punch. Well, wait a minute. Wait. And people they'd start off smiling, and by the time I'm done, they'd be like, all right, Sherry.
We all do that as amateurs. Start. Oh man, I wish I hadn't even started this.
I know,
Which
what
is
the
too
hell?
late now. So, but I'm gonna tell you a story, and I don't know if you will remember this, but it was one of the funniest things ever for me.
Oh.
It didn't happen while we were on the set for Video
Okay.
Soul. We were somewhere. We were traveling. We were in another city. I don't know where we
Okay.
were, but Mickey Howard was performing. If you recall
I
that.
love
And
Mickey
we were
Howard.
standing in the audience watching her perform with Shaka Khan. Remember that?
I don't remember Shaka.
And Shaka said, "Sing that song, you bitch." Oh my God. I laughed so hard. It was just like, again, material. I'm like, at that point, I'm not even there. I'm watching Saturday Night Live. It's like, this is a skit.
Right. Oh,
It's
yeah.
just so funny.
Oh, and so many artists had so many funny moments, like James Brown.
Oh my God.
I keep touching my mic, I'm so sorry. I love me some James Brown, but what what a flirt.
flirt?
A flirt.
Oh, see, I didn't know that part. He never flirted
come
with
on.
me.
No, no, he
didn't know
did
that
not.
side.
No. Oh my God. He used to say some interesting things to me. And his wife was always there.
Yeah.
Right? She was always there. And she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah, yeah.
But wait, you had a story about
With James? Oh, it's the funniest. When people ask me like what the most memorable moment, it's always this story with James.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the first thing we'll have to set it up to tell people.
Okay.
that when
Yeah.
James came, Bob Johnson, who owned BET, was, he's a big fan of James, just like I am.
Yes.
James was a king to me. Growing up as a kid, there was no one on earth more significant to me than James Brown.
Wow.
Really. I
Wow.
thought he was bigger than the president, and because he changed my life. I mean, at 14 to hear "Say It Loud," I'm black and I'm proud.
Oh, right.
was
Okay.
just-
All right. Yes.
was life-changing.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
gave me that sense of black pride, man. This dude meant so much to me.
Yeah, that's
So-
true for a lot of people. I'm gonna say, yeah.
So anyway, Bob always had strict instructions that whatever Mr. Brown wanted, Mr. Brown got when he came. So first of all, James arrives like head of state. Okay, it's not one limo, it's 5.
He would come. He had. You ever want to know what entourage really means?
Right. And his had flags on the front. It was like coming to America, right? And so James comes in, he does a show, it's 2 hours, and we're live. His wife, who fancied herself a TV producer, took over the show. She's producing the show that day.
She was very.
Yeah.
She knew what she wanted.
Yeah. So we do the first segment live, and then we go to commercial break. She comes in, and James is sitting there like this. He's sitting there, he's talking to me like this, but she comes in, well, James, I need to position you this way. So she twists him a little bit. She adjusts his ascot, and he's just scared. He's like this now. And so she goes to walk off the set, and she forgets she came up a step, and she falls flat on her face. And I mean, it wasn't like from knee to chest. It was just like a quarterback grabbed her feet and went straight to her face. And all the security, there's like 20 security people. Miss Brown, you okay, Miss Brown? She gets up on one knee and says, "Don't worry about me. The show must go on." James never moved. He said, "There you go. She had no business up here no way." Sherry, it was so funny, and I can't laugh at that point, but I'm like, that is just the funniest thing I ever heard right there. Ain't no business up here no
Oh my
way.
God! And everybody was thinking in the back of their minds, "You're right." She did,
Right.
Because we were good.
Yeah.
But yeah. He was something. He was larger than life.
Oh,
he really was.
I mean, to me, and I mean, and I used to tell him that, James, you're my king. I'm your soldier. There ain't nothing I wouldn't do for you. And I meant that.
Wow.
I meant that, man. We stayed in touch through the years, man. And that Christmas morning when I found out he had died, I mean, I was just heartbroken, man. It was like
Yeah.
my king had died.
Yeah.
You know? I share with you this moment when Aretha died. I mean, and you knew Aretha, you know? I mean, she was my queen. I felt the same way about her. Well,
In
it was
Detroit.
different because it wasn't that sense of black pride, but it was
the home connection, Detroit, right?
without
Yes.
doubt.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
our home girl had done this, had become the queen, you know?
The
and
queen of
so I went to the
soul, yeah.
funeral, and so as I'm walking down the aisle, you know, she's laying there, and I get there to her casket, and I wanted to touch her. But I was scared to because I didn't know proper protocol for a royal funeral.
Right,
I've never been
right,
to a
'cause
royal
yes,
funeral,
yes.
you know. Next thing I know, my hands are on her. And the two security guys did not lift me up by my elbows and take me out. And it was at that moment that I realized that the queen belongs to all the villagers.
Yeah.
That I did have the right to touch her, you know.
Wow, wow.
And, man, she was just so. No one ever moved me like Aretha musically.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
it's just something about her. So just, you know. So
She was-
here I am telling stories.
I know, but
Supposed to be
but
talking to
that's
you.
but I love it. To me, it's like, okay, this is Donnie. Go, yeah, tell me another one. But no,
Well, I'll go back to what we were talking about earlier about people being on the show, coming in to interview with me. I have to tell you a moment that was so, again, funny to me. I'm watching the New Edition movie, right? And they had
think I know
told
where
me
you're
that
gonna
I
go.
was in the movie, that they did something that, you know, they visited Video Soul and I was in the movie. So I'm sitting there watching and then going to find out I was on vacation that day or whatever, and you did the show. So you were in the movie. I love that though.
and I remember that they were like a little like, oh yeah, Donnie's not here, and I was like, okay, I know I'm not Donnie, but that's okay. And I forgot who it was. It was maybe Bobby. He said, girl, you're fine. We're happy to be talking to you. Like, I was like,
That's
okay.
right, Bobby.
All right, they were like, all right, and you know, but. Those were my boys. I love them. Well, you know, I
too,
I
me
love
too.
Johnny Gill. That was my and Bobby. Bobby.
I love all
yeah,
of them.
They,
I mean,
yeah.
And you just look at what they have accomplished. I mean, you know, still at it,
Amazing.
you know, all of them, you know, individually, as a group, as BBD, you know, and all these different configurations, man. They're
But
just
what I
great.
love about today is that because of TikTok and social media, we're seeing a resurgence of our old R&B artists, of our artists that we came up with, that we interviewed,
Yeah.
and people are now like Tupac. I mean, Tupac is a legend, but now they've got that little TikTok dance that everybody's doing off of his How Do You Like It?
Yeah, yeah.
How do you want it? How do you like? Everybody's doing this TikTok. I mean, all this music is coming back in little snippets, and it's so funny to see this new generation vibing on these people. I'm like, you don't even know. You don't even know. You're like, I kind of almost feel sorry for them because you all just missed it. We were lucky. We were really lucky.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, we only remember having Pac on the show one time, and we were in LA for Sprite Night or something that they called it, and he was on the show. And but later, you know, I mean, I love Tupac, but I don't know if you know, but I read in the magazine one day, he was talking about people like Donnie Simpson and wait for me to get out of jail so I can come kick their ass. Did you know that? Yeah, he didn't like me.
He didn't like you?
And I couldn't understand it, you know, because, you know, I mean, I don't mean to, I'm not trying to sound like the nicest guy on earth, but I'm not used to that. You know,
Right, because
I don't,
who doesn't like Donnie Simpson? I
You
mean,
know,
that's kind of very rare.
So it was weird. It was, but then I thought back on it, and I know what it was. You know, I remember. You remember? I used to sit on the set. We had stairs. Remember? And
Yeah.
I remember I had my hands like between the slats on the stairs, and I went on a bump in shot. I go, "Welcome back to Video Soul." God, I feel like Tupac, like I was in prison.
Okay, well, that might have been
I
it.
think-
I think that probably was
But
it.
even worse than that, it was one more. So,
Insult to injury.
that's how unused I am. I'm not used to not being liked.
Right.
Because I'm trying to figure, why is this guy not like me? And but when he was in jail, remember he got married. And I reported that story, and I said, him and his new wife, Bubba, are doing whatever. You know, I mean, it's just trying to be. It's an attempt at humor.
You were just trying.
Just trying to be. You get
making it
married in
light.
jail. What do you? You know. But I remember having this conversation.
Now I'm kind of thinking I might know why I didn't get
So you don't like me either now, right? See, this guy's an ass. What kind of jokes are these?
I think Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But I had that, we were having that conversation. Was it Damon Wayans or who? I can't remember. One night we were somewhere and we were talking about, because it's with In Living Color, was
Okay.
talking about that same thing, that black celebrities weren't used to having these kinds of jokes made about them. We'd never had a Saturday Night Live.
That's
and that it was
true.
new.
That's
and that
true.
sometimes people would, they'd get upset about
They'd
these
get really
things.
upset. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right. It's just trying to, it's just-
Because you're right, because we had the forum now that we were able to talk about our celebrities.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're going to joke about them
Yeah,
and
right.
clown them a little bit.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. That
Yeah.
isn't usually what would happen, but that's funny. But yeah, I met Tupac a couple times. I got to interview him once, and I remember seeing him, I think we went to the American Music Awards or something, and I don't know how soon it was before he was killed, but maybe he had just gotten out of prison. I can't remember. But I was like, and I saw he would always call me Miss Sherry. I'm older than him. Miss Sherry, how you doing, Miss Sherry? I go, I'm doing good. I go, Tupac, what are you doing? He goes, I am just trying to be good. He said, I am just trying to be good. I go, you know how to be good. Just be yourself. He's like, I'm trying, Miss Sherry. And it just struck me because he really was very serious. Like, he was like, I am just trying to be good. Like, what do people want out of me? And I just remember just feeling so touched by that, and sad too, because he seemed a little sad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to stay out of trouble. Trying to stay out of trouble. I'm like,
Wow.
But
That's
I
not
thought he
easy
was a
for
genius.
everybody.
I thought he was
Oh, he
a
was.
genius.
He-
And he was
absolutely.
he was so smart. And I don't know if people, well, I think people probably do know that about him now, but I was just blown away by how intelligent
Yeah.
he was.
Oh, yeah.
And people thought, well, he's a rapper. What does he know? You'd be surprised. You'd be
Right.
surprised.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
lots of great memories.
He was writing the liner notes for some album. This came out like 4 or 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
He had people on his list, his dark list.
It's dark.
Yeah. And he had me on there.
You were on the dark list?
Yeah. And so I have to tell you this, I do think about this, that when I get to heaven, that I can't wait to have a conversation with him about that, to apologize to him for, because I love Pac. And when he did the movie, I can't remember what the movie was called, but I was there first day, 12 o'clock showing, couldn't wait to see it. I'm sitting there, I am loving this. And then they get to this section and they're talking about how radio tried to stop Tupac.
Oh.
Right. And they'd start talking about Jesse Jackson and Dolores C. Tucker. Remember her?
Yes.
Yeah. And this movement. And then they show me
I was going to say, not you.
sitting in a room. They said, even a radio station in Washington. And they show me in the studio. I'm like, sure, I just shrunk down in a seat like this. I was like, I cannot believe this crap.
Oh, no.
I was
So
so
yeah.
upset because I had
Because,
nothing.
again-
I never tried to stop Pac.
Right,
Coming
right.
behind Dolores C. Tucker and Jesse Jackson, and then they show me. It's like I was a part of this.
Wow, yeah.
Oh, man.
When you have that conversation with Pac up in
Yeah.
the great beyond, I bet he's gonna be like, man, it's no thing. It's
Oh
all
yeah, he
good.
will then.
It's all good.
He's mad down here. He ain't
right,
gonna be
right.
mad at me up
It's
there.
gonna be all good.
Yeah, oh, let's
It's gonna be all
erase.
good. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
So what do you do? What do you do now? What's your life?
I am Well, I stopped being a on-air entertainer, I guess, for like a host. When I had my kids, I wanted to be like a full-time mom.
Yeah,
And
I
so
get that.
I did that. I did the whole PTA, volunteer thing, the whole thing.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I met Michelle Obama because of my younger son, Chad. We went to the White House because he was one of the little scholars and it was a PTA thing. And she was doing her Get Fit, what was it called? Let's Move.
Yeah.
When she was all into growing your own vegetables and exercise. And so she invited.
Be best.
It
I'm
was
just
no,
kidding.
one be best. Don't even wasn't that one.
best.
It was that her whole healthy kids
Yeah, yeah, no,
initiative,
I know, yeah.
and so we went there and. She hula hooped with my son, and she recognized me. She's like, "I know you, Sherry Carter. Oh, me and Barack would watch you and Donnie." And I was like, "Oh, you did?" So she was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Oh, we have to talk." Well, we never did talk after that, but it was so cool that we have a picture of her
hooping with
and
your
Chad hula hooping. They're hula hooping my son.
How good is that?
It was the coolest thing. Derek Rutledge, who was a makeup artist
he
here,
does.
actually does Michelle and
And
Oprah.
Oprah.
Yes,
Right.
and he was there as well. And so she's like, yeah, me and Derek talk about you every now and then, and he mentioned you. I'm like, oh my gosh, okay,
Isn't
okay.
that something?
But it was so cool. I never met Barack. I know you did though.
Yeah,
didn't you?
maybe I see him all the time.
Do you
Yeah,
really?
he's a friend. Yeah, he's
Tell him I
good
said
people.
hello.
I shall. I shall. I love
think
him.
he's yes. I mean
Yeah.
yes.
I've never
greatest-
met Michelle. My wife Pam has met her, but I've
all right.
never met Michelle.
No, he to me, in my lifetime, the greatest president. I mean, we actually have like little refrigerator magnets of Barack Obama on our refrigerator.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
sure.
like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, I always felt like the most important days in my life were the 2 days that my children were born. Until that
Same
November 8th,
Okay.
2008, was it the 8th? I think it was 2008.
Well, that's my son's
when he was
birthday.
elected.
Uh-huh.
Then that changed. That became the
The-
most important day of my life. Because my kids, I mean, that's great, but that's about me. That night was about us.
Yeah, true. Very
and,
true. That was such a
it's just
historic,
so-
memorable.
No doubt.
Thank goodness that I was there, that we all
so
experienced
special.
that. Because especially when you thought, I mean, I remember my grandparents saying, there'll never be a black president.
Yeah. Well, it was hard for them.
Yeah.
I remember telling my mom about 18 months out. I said, Mom, I think we're going to have a black president. And she says, I think so too, baby. Eventually.
Oh,
I
she
said, "No,
still
I mean
didn't
now."
think.
She said,
Okay.
you mean now? She says, yes. She says, I don't think America's ready for that, baby. But, and I looked at it and how could she possibly see that? This is a woman born and raised in Birmingham, Alabama, who saw Bull Connor's dogs, lived
Yeah,
under that
yeah,
racism.
right.
I mean, how could she see that?
Wow.
But it
Wow.
happened.
And the fact that she did see that, though,
Yeah.
very telling.
It's just, of course, I was so grateful because of what it meant to all our kids. Just that our kids as minorities could now grow up with the same dream as white kids, that we could say the same thing to them, that you could be president.
Yeah, yes. And they can believe it because
You've
it
seen
has
it.
happened.
Yeah.
Right.
But to me, actually, it was even bigger than that, Sherry. Because to me, it said, any minority, anywhere in the world, whether it's a woman, I don't care what your minority is.
Right.
That if this could happen in America,
Thank you.
it can happen anywhere in the world.
Absolutely.
That's how big that
Absolutely.
moment was.
Yeah, that was a huge moment, and
Yeah.
just so grateful that I experienced it. I think we all are grateful for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we were talking earlier, my husband and my son, Anthony, actually went to the inauguration because it was that important.
Oh, yeah.
I stayed home with the younger son, Chad, but, it was just such a moment.
Oh, it's-
I mean,
I'm still trying to get the chill off me from that day.
I got
I'm
chills
still
just thinking
cold.
about that. It was a cold. Oh, it was cold.
brutal.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, man, not gonna miss this.
Amazing,
Not
just
gonna miss this.
amazing.
So would you, to find out that Michelle and Obama watch us on
Yeah.
Video Soul and all that, I mean, you always have those moments as a TV host where you're surprised by somebody that watches you. You just never know. What other moments were there like that for you?
Well, before I say that, I did think about the fact that maybe Michelle was just being nice. Saying that she was me. So,
Probably not.
I'm hoping that she really did. But she was so lovely. What was your question? What other moments?
Like when you run into people and they go, "Hey, Sherry, I know you," and you're shocked by it. I mean, somebody that, because it's happened to me so many times.
Celebrities or just people?
Yeah, celebrities.
Oh, well, I don't run into many celebrities. You
Oh, really?
run into celebrities. Back in the day, I don't know, the people that I ran into, I mean, they were the people that would be watching, so
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
surprised. But no, I don't run in those
Okay.
little hallowed
Well.
circles like you do, Mr. Simpson.
Stop.
I'm not. I'm
Stop.
shopping at the grocery store. in my sweats and my tennis shoes, try not to be noticed. And every now and then people will go, "Oh, you know what? You look like someone." I'm like, "Oh, I do. I get that a lot. I have that
Yeah.
one of the. No, you look like someone." They go, "You look like that Sherry Carter." And I go, "Oh, do I?" I go, "Well, I hear she's beautiful and just and wonderful and the nicest person." They go, "I recognize your voice. That is you." And I'm like, "Oh, yes, it is me. I'm sorry. I was just." But I was go, yeah,
That's
here
great.
she's wonderful.
That's funny.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. So every now and then I do get people that go, oh my gosh, I know you.
Yeah,
I know you. You
yeah.
were on TV. And it is very flattering.
Yeah,
but a lot of
of
times
course.
I'm not like, I'm not looking
Yeah.
like this. I'm kind of like, ooh, okay. Which taught me, don't go out unless you look a little like you got something going on.
Yeah,
Because
right.
that's the last thing you want. Is like, ooh, I saw that girl, Sherry Cart. Ooh, TV, makeup,
Yeah.
does a miracle. But yeah, it is still nice because it still happens every now and then, and that's very flattering. So that just means that we made an impact.
Yeah, well, there's no question.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah.
But I got to share this with you and it was the question I asked you. It was now to me. I was in Colorado, and Sugar Ray Leonard and I went out to play in this tennis tournament. Martina Navratilova invited us out, sent a private jet and everything. It was awesome. It was awesome. So we get out there, and the first night we go to dinner, and it's me, Ray, Martina Navratilova, Billie Jean King.
Oh my gosh.
Renee Richards. Remember Renee
yes,
Richards?
Yes, I did. Yes.
Played tennis as a woman, a man,
and
then had
then as
sex
a woman,
change
yeah.
operations. Yeah. And Bill Cosby.
Oh my
Right.
goodness.
So I knew everybody at the table except for Bill. So I said, excuse me, I haven't met you. I'm Donnie Simpson. Man, I know who you are. I watch you every night.
Aww.
I said, well, in that case, would you excuse me while I call my mother?
Because I got to tell her
I had to tell her that now.
I have to
and
tell
he
her
laughed. He cracked up. It was so funny. I mean, and the timing was just like that. It was just, this is like, I got to tell her this now.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
But that's great. That is kind of cool to know. And I imagine probably some celebrities did watch. I think
there's
a
no
lot of
question.
people, of course they did,
There's
but
no
I just don't
question.
run into them.
I mean, even just recently, well, I shouldn't go into the story, but anyway, enough of that.
Oh, I want to hear the story, but maybe you could tell it to me.
Well, it was Dave Matthews.
Okay.
I ran into him in Detroit.
Okay.
And his whole
and
band.
maybe someone that you wouldn't expect exactly to be
He
watching
walked
the
around
show.
corner,
Yeah.
Donnie Simpson, no freaking way.
that is
like
cool.
that. And I was like,
That is
how
cool.
could that be? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But then when you think about it, he's a music man. He's a musician.
So why
of
wouldn't
course,
he be?
why
Why
wouldn't
wouldn't
he
he be
watch?
watching something?
Right,
Yeah, that's
right.
going to be talking about. And so many of these artists, especially the older artists that we interviewed, the ones that are legendary, because you interviewed everybody. That's what they took from a lot of the the other
Yeah.
artists. Black music and its influence. Why wouldn't you be watching it? Because we influenced everything. Not
Yeah,
we,
yeah.
but black music, the
Yeah.
culture. Such
Yeah.
why wouldn't you be watching it? I was sometimes surprised when people didn't know what BET was or what Video Soul was. Usually they were white people, but you're right. But when someone that you wouldn't expect to watch was watching it and knew about it, that was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
That is really neat. Yeah.
Well, you must appreciate the significance of what we did collectively, not just for Video Soul, but for BET.
BET.
That this was our first black television network. And,
Amazing.
And Sherry, I would assume that you're the same way that I am. That because I think most people are like this. That while you're in it, doing whatever it is that you do, you're just doing what you do. It's your job.
It's your job.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
But later, when you look back on it, and people force you to look back on it. I was trying to write a book, and a couple times, and so I'm working with
should
this
write a
person.
book.
I
Oh, my
am.
goodness.
I've
Okay.
been writing it for 20 years,
Okay.
but I'll get to it.
Right. It was a dark and stormy night.
I was born a poor black child in Detroit. That sounds like the jerk. But
Oh, it kind of did.
But you're forced to look back on it, and then then you find the significance of it.
Right.
And it's pretty amazing. I remember the moment for me really and this was the first time where it was put into any kind of perspective, when they did. It was VH1, and they did a series called Black in the 80s. And it was just a 1 hour, documentary, Black in the 80s. First 15 minutes was on Brian Gumbel, first black to host the morning talk show, the Today Show. Then the next 15 minutes was on Arsenio Hall, first black to host the late night talk show. Then they did 15 minutes on Cosby, first black sitcom where it wasn't a janitor and a short order cook.
Right, exactly.
You know, but a doctor.
A doctor and his doctor wife, yes.
Right. And then Video Soul.
Oh.
And I'll never forget it. As soon as it ended, I'll never forget. My first thought was, well, how the hell am I supposed to go to sleep tonight? Really. Because I'd never seen, never thought about the significance of this
the
thing.
Impact, the impact.
Yeah.
Because like you said, while you're in it, you're not realizing
You're just
it.
doing it, man.
You know, and it is when you step back and you say, wow.
Yeah.
That's why I was so grateful to be a part of that whole thing.
Yeah.
Because I remember, BET was like the MTV for Black culture.
Right.
And I hated when people would say that because I'm like, no, we're BET. We're something totally different.
Yeah.
But the concept was like, we have something and we are significant. And if we can't get what we want to see on your network, we need to have a network where we can.
Yeah.
And Bob Johnson supplied that.
Yep. Well, when they first called me to do it, when I first started doing Video Soul, first of all, I was hesitant to do it because I've always felt that I only have one thing to sell, and it's image.
Right,
You know, I can't give you 20 rebounds a night, So I'm very protective of that. So anything I get involved with, I try to make sure it's top shelf.
Right.
And BET in its infancy wasn't a very pretty baby.
Right. It was
it wasn't.
a little upstart. Yes.
Yeah,
It was
right.
just start. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I thought about it for 2 days and then finally came down to this thought that was, this is our first Black television network. And if you have something to offer it, you have to do it.
Oh, that is.
Let's go.
Wow.
And that was it.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did. It was an amazing ride, but it was, but it started there for me, just with hesitancy.
Yeah.
But look, when we first started, we were in 1.5 million homes. When we left, that number was like 35, 40 million.
Amazing.
Now, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's 100,
I don't know.
150,
Yeah.
whatever it is. It's crazy.
But it just goes to show you, So it's great. I remember when I used to work at QVC for a hot second. People don't know that because I was there for like all of 10 months. It just wasn't what I wanted to do. So I was like auditioning for some other things in Philadelphia because they're in Westchester, Pennsylvania. And was up for a PM magazine style show, and they had lost the female host and they were auditioning people to replace that person. So I guess the host, they hadn't lost any ratings after the female host left. So they kind of, I was told, get an agent, get a manager, it's down to you and someone else, and I think it's going to be you, and but you got to hang tight because we got to And then BET called, and because I was sending my tape out everywhere. And I was like, BET? Like, what is that? And then I found it. I was able to find it. And I saw you, and I was like, oh, who is that? Oh, okay, all right. And I saw Sabrina Dames, remember? She was our newscaster. And I remember thinking and go, wow, this is like a Black network.
Yeah.
This is a network.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, and they called me, and Billy Woodruff, Verna Dickerson, Billy Woodruff, who went on to direct and produce. He's a big name now.
Yeah,
but back then he was just Billy, and he was like associate producer, I think, not even a producer at that time. Maybe he was. But I remember saying, I've got to do this. Like, they're kind of leaving me in limbo, and I knew it was more money to kind of hang on and wait for that. But I thought, same thing. I go, this might be, they're offering me my own show.
Yeah.
They're talking about my own show. Why would I not want to be a part of that?
Yeah.
So again, and I remember when I told someone that I was working with that I was going to go ahead and accept the BET offer, they were like, are you crazy? What do you mean? That's not going to be around long. You better, and I was like, no, I think I'm going to do it. And ironically, I think 10 months later, they canceled the PM magazine show
wow.
that I would have been on. But I just never looked back.
Yeah.
But again, it was still fairly young. It wasn't as young, obviously when you started, but it was still like a young channel. And it was staffed by young people. And it was just so refreshing. And again, QVC, it was a great network. It was good exposure. Got me used to the camera. But there was a certain climate there that I didn't feel as welcome as I mean, BET was like coming home.
Yeah. Oh, no question.
It was really like coming
No
home.
question.
It was like, I can be myself.
Yeah.
I can just be myself. Yeah.
And even people, I mean, like when you came in here today, and so many people are
Oh,
still
my
here
goodness,
that
yes.
worked here in this building when we were here. But you know, even people that may have had issues, that may have gotten fired back in the day or whatever, they still
There are
are so
issues.
appreciative
Yes.
of
The experience.
that experience
Of what
of
it
being
was.
part of that
Of that.
BET when this thing happened, man. It was something special. You know,
Really.
it's like being part of New Edition or the Temptations.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really awesome.
I can say that, if I did nothing else, like I was on BET.
Yeah.
Like people knew who I was. I got to meet so many wonderful performers. I mean, it really was. It was such a great part of my life. It really was. Some of the people, there are so many stories, just so many, like you remember when we had the Halloween telecast where you were, it was the Addams Family.
Yeah.
And you were Gomez. And I was Morticia. and who was it, Grace Jones?
Was Grace here?
Grace Jones was here.
Yeah.
And there was someone in a gorilla suit, I think, and she was tweaking the nipples. She was just
That would
crazy.
be Grace.
She was,
Grace was
wild.
Crazy.
She was wild.
I was at a party once. It was right during the Grammys, so it was like the night before the Grammys or the night after in L.A. And I don't know. It was me, Freddie Jackson, Grace
Freddie
Jones,
Jackson.
a couple other people. We're sitting there, and Grace is sitting there, and she's showing me all these naked pictures of her from Mad Max or something. And I was like, what?
What am I supposed to say to that?
I know.
Very nice.
Okay. But
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if you feel the same way as I do, but me, Jimmy Jam, and Terry Lewis. By the way, this hat represents them, Jam and Lewis.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You all were, yes.
Yeah, these are my boys. But we've had this conversation about how, for us, different is the norm. Being in the music business, I said,
Yeah, true.
man, George Clinton is my friend. So different. I'm so used to different.
Right.
The first night I saw Lady Gaga, had no idea who she was, watching the Grammys, and she comes on, never heard of her. And so I'm looking at her, I said, okay, look at this get up, all right, Boy George, whatever. This is what my first thought was. But then she started singing. I'm like, wow.
Girl
She's
can
playing the
sing.
piano. Then she reaches over behind, off the piano and grabs this bottle of champagne and crashes it across the piano. And I went, damn, I'm in love. It's like, I mean, who is this that dares to be that different?
Yeah.
I love different. I love people who are
Especially when you
comfortable
can
with
back
themselves.
it up with the talent.
No question.
If
No
you can
question.
do that, I mean, if I could have been anything other than who I was, I always say I would be a black athlete because they got it going on.
Yeah.
Or I would be a singer. I'd be a singer. I would be a
Well,
musician. I mean,
I think anyone who is not a singer wants to be a singer. Right,
But
everybody.
I think it's such a gift. I think
I
it's
couldn't
just
agree more.
such a gift.
I couldn't
And
agree more.
It was just a gift to be able to be in the presence of so many talented people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some, you and Morris Day. Oh,
Yes. I remember we used to have Morris open the show. I don't know if you remember that. That may have been before you. I think it was.
Yeah, I
He
remember.
recorded the thing for us. It was in his Cadillac, and he goes, "Donnie, don't start yet. I'm on my way."
That was before me. Oh, that is so
it was
funny.
so funny, man.
You always had such a great rapport with your guests, and just some of the funniest things. I mean, of course, now that I'm on the spot, I can't think of. But oh my gosh, just. And you interviewed so many, and I feel like I interviewed so many people too.
There's no
it's
question.
just amazing.
There's no question. I got to tell you real quickly. I know we're kind of running out of time, but we had Stevie on the show one day. Remember Stevie Wonder?
Yes.
But this, I don't know if you remember this, but you asked him because it was right during Easter, and you said, "Stevie,
I think I do
you ever
remember
thought
this.
about doing an Easter song?" And Stevie goes, "And my Easter bonnet with all the frills upon it." And, I don't know how you took that,
I do
but
remember
I took that as a no.
Yeah, it was like, it doesn't sound like he
no.
has plans to do one. What I do remember about that, he played My Sharia Moore, which I was like, I don't know if it was that
Sharia
show or
Moore.
maybe it was another one,
Yeah.
because I know that my name, I mean, when I was little, I would always say My Sharia Moore, and that's, I was kind of felt like I was kind of named for that. So that was my song, and so I was like, but
Wow. Well, what
so many
memories,
people.
man. This was, I'm telling you, I can't thank you enough for coming on.
Oh, well,
to
thank
be
you
with
so
me today,
much.
Sherry.
Thank you.
This
I'm
has been
so
awesome.
glad.
I could do this for 2 or 3 hours.
I know. I feel like, oh my gosh, there's just so much more we could talk about,
Oh, I
because
know.
so much happened in that time period.
Yeah.
But I'm just so grateful that you wanted to have me back on. This is
absolutely.
really like a reunion.
Yeah,
this
it is, no doubt.
Unbelievable.
No doubt. And please give my love to David, your husband, and the kids.
I will, and Anthony and Chad. I
they're not
certainly
kids
will.
anymore.
No, they're not. They're not.
I remember you'd had to take off for a couple months because you had
when I first
boys.
had Anthony, it broke my heart to be away, but I had my baby, so, and he was 2 months early. So when he finally was like big enough and chubby enough, I brought him on the show, and we introduced him on the air, and you held him. He was in a little Santa suit because it was around Christmas, and you held him, and so I have a really sweet little picture.
Oh God, I would love to see that.
Of
That's
you
awesome.
holding him.
Wow.
Yeah, so just so many memories, and my nephew Ryan, remember, he would come in, so he says hello.
Yeah,
but
please
yeah,
tell
so
him.
it's just you have been really like family.
Yeah.
You really have
Well,
been.
thank you,
And even
Sherry.
though we don't see each other, like we were saying, that I don't think we've seen each other. We've talked, but we haven't seen each other since videos. Although I still don't think that's right. I feel like we saw each other.
I don't know
feel
what
like
it
we
would
did.
have been.
I don't either.
But
I'll remember
we
it
stayed
later.
in touch through the years.
We
always
stayed
talked.
in touch with Christmas cards and talked. And but yeah, even if I don't see you, I mean, I will love you forever.
Same here.
I mean,
that.
it's like in the club we're all family. I mean, we are all family, and all the BET people
doubt.
that worked here at that time. I mean, just all my love, just the best time.
Thank you, Sherry. You
Oh,
look
you're
amazing
welcome.
too.
Well, thank
It's
you,
So good to
thank
see
you.
It really is.
Give me a couple years, have me back. Maybe I'll lose
we'll
those
do
20
that.
pounds that I put on. Don't wait 2 years. Don't wait a couple years.
Yeah. All right. Thank you again.
You're very, very welcome.
Sherry Carter.
All right, yes.
Thank you so much, Sherry. I appreciate
welcome.
you. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on the Donnie Simpson Show. God bless you.